you wouldn't skip moisturizing your face before you apply your makeup, right? Or you wouldn't skip your sunblock before you go out into the sun. So don't skip warming up before your training. Hey guys, welcome back to It's Pretty Simple. I'm your host, Nikita. This is a podcast where we break down fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle in a way that actually makes sense. There's no fluff, no gimmicks, no quick fixes for sure, just practical advice that helps you feel strong, energized, and confident in your body that you can actually use in your fitness journey. I'm here to make your fitness journey just a little bit more simple. So today we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked, but it's very, very critical to your fitness journey. We have talked a lot about recovery, but now we're going to dive into warm ups. Now, if you're someone who's tempted to skip your warm up because you're short on time or just eager to get into the main workout, this episode is for you. And I promise you, by the end of it, you are going to think twice before heading straight into your heavy lifts or intense cardio sessions. So let's start with a simple question. Why do warm ups matter? So I'm going to give you an analogy here. Imagine you're about to do your skincare routine. If you skip your cleansing of your face, your serums and your moisturizers are not going to absorb properly, right? So you're not going to end up getting the results that you're looking for. Skipping a warm up is kind of like that. It's like you're rushing into a workout without giving your body the time that it needs to get ready. Trust me, your muscles, your joints, and your nervous system will feel the impact, even if you think it's not a big deal. So, when you warm up, you are increasing blood flow to your muscles. Think of it like steeping a cup of tea. You let the tea bag sit in hot water so that the flavors can develop fully. So, that increased blood flow is going to help deliver oxygen and nutrients to your muscles so that they're actually ready to perform. So, they're nice and warm. You're also improving your mobility, which is very important for moving through exercises with proper form. And a good warm up activates your nervous system. So, this will help you generate more power and stability during those big lifts or your high intensity movements. Now, what happens if you choose not to warm up and you skip it? Well, your risk of injury is going to go up. Your performance might take a hit because your body isn't firing on all the cylinders that it needs to. And the last thing anyone wants is to spend weeks recovering from an injury that really could have been avoided. Good news though, a warm up doesn't actually have to be long or complicated. Some people really make it seem like you need to spend a good 20, 30 minutes, especially a certain sport. But that's not true. Okay, you can actually still get your warm up done even if you are short on time. If you take 10 to 12 minutes, it can make a huge difference. And no, it's really not a waste of time. It's an investment in your performance, your safety, and your longevity in training. And, when we were younger, we can get away with it, but it comes a point where these things are important because recovery also takes longer. So why put yourself in that situation when you can just spend 10 minutes on it? So let's talk about some specific examples of warm ups for different types of workouts, just so you can understand that it really does not have to be complicated and it doesn't need to be crazy long. So, first thing we're going to look at for lower body strength training. So, let's say you've got your heavy squats, your deadlifts, your lunges. It's all for strength training. Best way to start is do a 3-minute brisk walk. You don't have to do a 15-minute walk or a 10-minute walk. Just do 3 minutes brisk walk on the treadmill or incline on the treadmill, and then go in for 2 sets of 10 reps each. You can do glute bridges, body weight squats, walking lunges with a twist. And then for your hips, you can do some hip mobility, 10 leg swings front and back, side to side, few hip circles in each direction. And my favorite is doing the 90-90 hips, which is 10 reps each side. I like that because I have extremely tight hips, so that's something I really focus on. And then adding the world's greatest stretch as well. You can do 5 reps on each side, going in for a frog stretch. So you're doing 20 to 30 seconds. And you can also do deep squat holds, going into side to side, 30 seconds. So that's not going to take you that long. Even if you do all of that, it'll probably take you a total of 6 minutes or even less. So if you have time, you can also do some activation with a band. So for example, 10 banded lateral walks on each direction. You can do 10 banded glute kickbacks per leg. Beautify, you don't have the time, then use your first set of whichever lift you are doing as a warm-up set. So if you're doing heavy squats, do at least 1 or 2 sets at a much lighter weight just to warm up in that movement. Same thing for your deadlift, same thing for your lunges. This is what I usually do when I don't have any time. I'll just do 2 sets on a lighter weight and then go into my working sets with the actual weight. Now for upper body strength training, for your push day, your pull day, you can start with 3 minutes of rowing, and then you can do 2 sets of 10 reps each of arm circles back and forth just to make sure the joints are starting to move. And then you can do some wall slides as well, just to get everything nicely activated. And then for shoulder mobility, you can go in for thread the needle. You can do 5 reps each side. Scapular push-ups are great as well. And then if you have the time, do banded activation work. I really recommend the banded activation work, especially for upper body when you're doing push day or pull day. What I like to do is banded pull aparts. So taking the band, pulling it apart, and then internal rotations, do 10 to 12 each on each side. Banded face pulls, 10 to 12 reps. If I'm going in for any shoulder stuff, I go for banded overhead presses with the band. So I'm just warming up on the same movement. And then also for anything pull, if I'm going to do my traps, then with the band, I go into that banded high pulls. You could also, again, even with upper body strength, you could just do some warm up sets before going into the actual movement. So if you're going to do shoulder presses, go into light shoulder presses for your first set. If you're going to do bench press, go into light bench press for your first set. So you could do things like that. And then, of course, things like push ups to downward dogs, a few tricep dips if you're working on triceps. These things don't take long, and you don't have to do like full sets. Even if you don't want to do 2 full sets, you don't have to. You can just do 1 set of it, and it's still going to be more efficient and better for you than not doing it at all. So that's the strength training part. So we're going to come to the cardio now. For running, one of the best things to do before you actually get out on your run is do a few dynamic stretches. So walking knee hugs, leg kicks. You can do a few drills like 20 meters of high knees, or if you're going to do it at home before you leave, just on the spot, do 20 high knees, 20 butt kicks, and 20 strides if you're outside. Another great thing to do is go into some body weight squats, go into some body weight lunges, and also do some calf raises. This is a great way to get the muscles that you're going to use warmed up for your run. Now, when you do start your run, obviously you don't go straight into the run. I always recommend, and I also myself start with 5 minutes of a warm up. So I'll start with a walk and then gradually increase into a jog for those 5 minutes. And then when I get into the main run, I increase my pace even more. And if you're going to do any cycling, you can follow the same concept. Do some high knees, do some walking lunges, do some squats. Basically, the goal is to just activate the muscles that you're actually going to be using in your specific workout without doing unnecessary things. So you're getting the blood flowing into that part. So for HIIT or any sort of circuit training, I usually like to start off with a few minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes. If you don't have time, just do 3 minutes of skipping or a stationary bike or even a light jog on the treadmill if you're at the gym or outdoors. Again, just to get the body moving, and then maybe 1 or 2 sets of body weight squats, arm circles, some push-ups, a few jumping jacks, and mountain climbers. So those are the 4 sections. So we've covered lower body, we've covered upper body, we've covered running and any cardio, and we've also covered any HIIT sessions. So how long should your warm-up be? Now, a good warm-up, like I said earlier, does not need to take forever. Okay, it's just about getting the blood flowing to those muscles. So you're aiming for 10 to maximum 15 minutes. You're trying to focus on quality, just focusing on the muscle groups that you're going to use rather than just doing everything because you feel like you need to warm up everything. If you don't have time, there's no need to do that as long as you're doing what you need to. Remember, the goal at the end is to prepare your body for the workout ahead, not to actually exhaust yourself before you even begin. And honestly, skipping the step can lead to injuries, it will lead to decreased performance, and you are going to have to take longer to recover. You want to think of warming up as a part of your workout. It's not an optional extra. You can play around with what you do and how much time you spend doing it. But if you're in a hurry, even if you just have 2 minutes to do something quick, you could do 30 seconds of certain movements just to get the blood pumping. You wouldn't skip moisturizing your face before you apply your makeup, right? Or you wouldn't skip your sunblock before you go out into the sun. So don't skip warming up before your training. It's really that important. So the next time that you are tempted to just jump straight into your workout, pause and take a few minutes to just warm up. Like I said, you don't have to do the whole thing, whether you're doing dynamic stretches, light cardio, or just lighter sets of your main workout. Your body is going to be happy, it's going to be warmed up, and it will thank you in the long run. And just to know, honestly, those lighter sets of heavy lifting make such a big difference. This is something that you should consider if you are someone who just jumps straight into the percentage that you are training with, because it will lead to injuries. I've seen it happen to me, I've seen it happen with friends of mine. So warm up sets are something that I would try to make sure that I do every single time with my compound lifts, like my squats, my deadlifts, my bench press, and my bent over rows. So, like I said, next time you're thinking about skipping, make sure you don't. Just get your body warmed up, and you're gonna feel stronger, move better, and reduce your risk of injury. All right, guys. Well, there's not that much to say on warm ups because it doesn't need to be long or complicated. So that's it for today's episode. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and share this with a friend who you know skips warm ups all the time. Let's keep spreading the message of smart, sustainable fitness. And thank you for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode of It's Pretty Simple. Stay active, stay safe, and don't forget to warm up. Until next time, guys, I'll see you next week.